Hi, this is Paul, Golden Gate Enterprises. We are underneath the house. It's a little hard to maybe see, but wanted to give you a view. This particular house, this is not an uncommon view of where houses end up. There's a lot of clay and expansive soil, and most of the mid-span girders are supported with pier jacks, and they do this because putting in posts is almost a fruitless effort because of the expansion and contraction. You need to come back and keep adjusting the jacks. Anyway, what we did at this house, a lot of the jacks had failed. They used these little small galvanized jacks, which are, how do you say it nicely, they're kind of a joke. These are the types of jacks that we use. They're house jacks. They're designed to take very significant loads, and they pretty much will never fail, and they're very easy to adjust. So when we come in and replace screw jacks or put them in, we use those heavy-duty screw jacks. We also installed some additional piers under here. We put some bracing and splicing on all the joints of the girders that were never spliced properly. And then, of course, what we did is we put down a vapor barrier for moisture control underneath the entire house here. So that's a pretty good look at what's been done underneath a typical house. So we do a lot of foundation repairs. We're also doing a bunch of plumbing repairs here. There's been a bunch of plumbing leaks here. Also, we did an earthquake retrofit. You can see one of the retrofit brackets there. So this is kind of an underbelly job, if you will. And we repaired some dry rot. We also found a number of leaks coming from a couple of bathrooms. So it's good to have an experienced set of hands crawl underneath the house, and it's very hard to find somebody that has what I would call a comprehensive set of eyes to come and take a look at these types of things here, right? So you can get some guy to do foundation, but they don't do plumbing, they don't do dry rot, they really don't have an eye for it, they don't do electrical, so there's a lot of things that go on underneath the house. But Golden Gate Enterprises, we do quite a few of these. This is what we specialize in doing. So again, this is an under-the-house job, and this is part of, I'm going to crawl out a little bit. Okay, this is part of a foundation repair job, and you can see what we've got here is we've put in 4 very significant piers that are reinforcing this rear structure that was sinking into the ground, and we've also put in a complete reinforcing grade beam here as part of the foundation repair. So we have an inspection coming up here pretty quickly, and we've poured the 4 big piers. You can't see how big they are. They're about 3 foot by 4 foot deep down into the ground on each one of the corners. And then there's the reinforcing steel that's going to tie them together, which is going to be our final pour. And then over here in the backyard, this whole thing has been precipitated by a lot of water and moisture problems. So we're putting in a brand new patio, all properly sloped away from the house, French drains across the back, across the side, across over here, and it's all going to a dry well that is back here. And for those not familiar with a dry well, it's pretty much a big pit. And the big pit, this one's about 3.5, actually about 4.5 feet deep. And we put filter fabric, put drain rock, and we run our drain pipes into here. So right now, a lot of the downspouts are just peeing down along the foundation of the house, creating foundation problems. Very common situation. And then also there's very poor drainage just because of the type of soil and the slope on this particular lot. So a very common problem. And you go to a lot of houses in the Bay Area, especially in the East Bay, there's a lot of what they call expansive soil, a lot of clay, and what happens is the soil, when it dries out, it contracts and shrinks, and what happens is, of course, the piers sink down and you lose some of the support underneath the house, and all of a sudden you get bouncy floors, you get cracks in the walls and ceilings, things like that. And then when we get heavy rains, it slowly begins to resaturate. So it's constantly moving. It's a process that you need to stay on top of, and that's why if your house is on that type of soil, ultimately putting in the right pier jacks is a good solution because they can be adjusted, and once every year, literally someone can go in there for an hour, 2 hours, and just tweak and adjust them if you've got the right pier jacks. Okay, so this is Paul, Golden Gate Enterprises, your San Francisco Bay Area general contractor with another update on one of our projects here. Okay, so give us a call. We're an A+ rated general contractor. We do all of our work in-house. plans, permits, and engineering. And we service the entire Bay Area. We are located in Castro Valley in the East Bay, but we have projects going on right now in Pacifica, San Francisco, Woodside. This is over in Hayward. I've got 2 other jobs up in the Oakland Hills, so we're all around. We get called in by engineers and architects and homeowners all around the Bay Area for our specialty. And we do dry rot, structural repairs, waterproof decks, glass railings, general contracting, full remodels, bathrooms, kitchens, and tons of foundation repairs. Okay, thanks. Paul Gordon, Golden Gate Enterprises. Have a great day.